All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for Nonprofit Enthusiast Live. We have Mr. Keshawn Williams with us. Hey, Keshawn.
Hey y'all, how's everybody doing?
The time we've been waiting for, Keshawn. Thank you
Okay,
so
that
much for
part.
joining us. Yes, yes,
Of
yes,
course.
yes. All right, let's allow some time for others to join us before we jump into the conversation, learn more about Key Survive. And we'll talk about our topic this month, which is year-end planning as well. So take a moment, invite your friends to the Facebook group. Remember, in order for them to tune into this live, they have to be inside of the group. So go ahead, invite them to the group and tag them this morning in here. Hi, love. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
I guess let me get on the live.
Oh,
See
yeah,
the
so you can
comments.
see her. Yes. Um, go ahead, invite your friends to the group. If you're catching this on a replay, give us a hashtag replay in the chat box. We'll love to know that you're tuning in. And while we wait, just go ahead and drop a hello, good morning, so that we know that you are here. Joining us.
I guess let me get on the live.
There we go. There we
Awesome.
go. We'll give it some time for others to join us. Hi, Tamia. Good morning.
Hey Tamia. I see some familiar faces.
There, yay. Hey, Shantae. How are y'all doing this morning? Thank you for tuning in. Hey, Sarah.
Good morning. Good
Awesome.
morning.
Once again, if you're here joining us, go ahead, say a hey, good morning, so that we know that you are here. Invite your friends to the Facebook group so that they can tune in on this conversation. You could tag them into the conversation once they're in the group as well. And if you're catching this on replay, give us a hashtag replay in the chat box so that we know that you are watching. That is so right, Shantae. Fantastic. Another day to be a servant in my community. How are you?
Right.
Yes, absolutely. That's one of the things about working in a nonprofit arena. Yes, I'm not gonna lie, we have hard times, but for the most part, it's just that excitement, enthusiasm for
Okay.
being able to serve our community on an ongoing basis. So I'm glad you all are tuning in with us. So let's go ahead and get started, Keshawn. So tell us about yourself and kind of tell us about your organization and your why for Key Survive.
Okay. Definitely. Good morning, everybody. Happy what's today? Today is Wednesday.
Wednesday, yes.
The middle of the week. I thank you guys for being on here. My name is Keshawn Wilson. I am the founder and president of Key Survive Inc. As you see the name on top of here. But just to start with my story first, because this is where really pretty much the birth of this vision came from. With me, I myself am a 2-time cancer survivor. Stage 4, it was. The first time I was diagnosed with cancer was back when I was 17 years old. In high school. And I can remember during that time, like, just catching consistent fevers, just not really feeling like myself and really losing my appetite. And the doctor's not even really understanding what was going on. And it caught it at such a late state because I didn't have awareness of, the things to look for in that case. And when they found a tumor in my pelvic area, they found a diagnosis of stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma. So I underwent aggressive chemotherapy treatments and for about a couple months and got to a point where I was in remission and then went off to college. So I came down here to Orlando because I'm also a military brat. So I lived all over the place, but came back here to Orlando for college and went to Valencia College and was doing a routine checkup. And during that routine checkup, I was diagnosed a second time with stage 4 cancer. It went transformed to lymphoma. And I pretty much had to undergo really extremely aggressive chemo treatments and prepare for a stem cell transplant. So the reason why I speak on my story is because there's the birth of the nonprofit, because for me, there was many challenges that I was going through during that time in that space at such a young age, because I was 17 and also 20 going on 21 during those times that experiencing it. And I had really a lot of challenges. And when I finished, all my treatments and now in remission and really feeling a lot more healthier and alive, there was a challenge of me feeling stuck and the lack of resources. And I really wanted to birth this nonprofit to really build a bridge between that. Because we were founded in 2021. Pretty much what Key Survive Inc. is about is providing and shedding a light to those who are underprivileged, chronically ill individuals and caregivers to thrive. Pretty much we're providing charitable opportunities, advocacy, financial resources, pretty much emotional support as well. And I really just want to really build that bridge, not only from what I experienced, but I want to hear from others. Because I know there's other people out there who really have challenges that they wish they could have the tools to help them with. And that was my biggest thing for me. So it's definitely the big birth of Key Survive.
Wow, man. And just you being able to use your test as a testimony is absolutely amazing. And then your name says it all, Key Survive. And
Yep.
so you're showing others that if Key survived, you can as well, and giving hope to others. That is absolutely amazing. So okay, so you talked about how you started and kind of what led you to this mission. Um Tell us a little bit about your nonprofit journey, because we
Mhm,
know starting a nonprofit, okay, you have the passion to start your
mhm,
organization,
right.
and then now getting that business aspect of turning it into a nonprofit organization. There's so much that goes into it.
Mhm.
How has that journey been for you?
Honestly, I would say it has been very challenging, but it's been worth it. Because for me, I see you definitely have to have vision, you have to have a desire. And I realized for me, my biggest thing was I like to be a procrastinator. That's my biggest demon. It's procrastination. And
Mhm.
procrastination is assassination to your destination. So,
Say that. Wait. You can't just say that and then just act like nothing. You gotta go ahead and
right.
rerun that and slow that down for us.
Okay. Right. Procrastination is assassination to your destination. It's literally, for me, I've always like, I'm a big, huge perfectionist and life is not perfect. There's nothing perfect about life. And if you're looking to find that sign for you to do what you want to do in life, it's now, it's today, it's right now, because there's no perfect time than right now. And me birthing this, I've always had this in my spirit for like years to, get into the nonprofit space and help impact and help others. But I've always been pushing it back, pushing it back. And I said, I need to put action. So my biggest thing was just putting that action and just doing it anyways. And while I'm doing it, fail, because failure is a part of success. And that's one thing
Hmm.
that I learned, when I grew into personal developing. I learned that the failure is not saying that you did bad. It was just your first attempt at learning. And when it's your
Mm.
first attempt in learning, you step in outside of the box and you step out your comfort zone so you're able to grow. Because if you're in your comfort zone, you're comfortable, you're not going to grow. So my biggest
Hmm.
thing was really like the challenges was I don't know nothing about nonprofit. I'm very brand new
Hmm.
to the space, but be able to get as far as like where I got now was simply just me putting in action and failing. I've made a lot of mistakes. I could have got saved if I got the advice, but I'm glad I did it anyways because I put the action in and it's no longer just in my head. I'm just talking about it anymore. So I think that's what was one of my biggest challenges for me. But yeah, I absolutely love what this field does, the impact that it has behind it, and I'm truthfully excited for where it's gonna go.
Awesome. So there's three things I heard.
Yeah,
One, procrastination is a
it's assassination to your destination.
okay. There is an assassination to your destination. So if you are listening, and we know we all have something that we're procrastinating on, and we know what that thing is. And we just keep pushing it. We'll do it later. We'll do it later. But go ahead and pick that up and let's get that done. Right.
Yes,
And then the other thing you talked about is being uncomfortable.
yes.
And it's okay to be uncomfortable.
Very
Like,
much.
even for me, I had to learn that I had to get comfortable being uncomfortable and just know that's just the place that you're gonna continuously be learning new things, and and it's gonna feel new, it's gonna feel uncomfortable, but once you kind of get past that, it's definitely worth it. And another thing that you said is failing. Pretty much, I summed it up as failing is okay. You
Yeah,
know, in this journey, we're gonna learn so much, and there's some things we're gonna be like, oh, I really messed up there. To this, I still have that. I've been studying nonprofits for decades, and I still have moments where like, but what we do, we pick that up, we learn from it, and we make it better, right? So we learn from our mistakes. So failing is okay. And the reason why I really want to stress that point, because sometimes I talk to nonprofit leaders and they're ready, they're like, I'm done. Like, I can't, like, like in the sense of like my mission is just, I am done. I just got to put this to the side. And then, we talk through, well, what is it? And just remember that you have a whole support system. You have this group. Like if you ever feel like I'm just done, go ahead and post that in a group. I'm sure you're going to have a bunch of people responding that no, you're not done. You're not done today. That's okay. We will help you get past that hump of feeling like this isn't the field, or pursuing your mission is not where you want to be. So I love that you talked about the fact that failing is okay. So procrastination is something I took away from you. If it's something that you have that you've been sitting on, go ahead and go ahead and let's get that done. And if we can get it done quickly, go ahead and get that done quickly. And a lot of times too, when you procrastinate, it's things that really won't take that long if you just apply yourself to getting it done.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let me go into the chat box. I see some conversation happening over in the chat. So we have.
Yes, I love that.
All right. So I know. Okay. Hey, good morning, Bonnie. Thank you for tuning in. Shantae said, speechless, great testimony. Amen. Glad you are still here with us. Tamia said, come on, word.
Okay.
Good morning, Luana. Shantae, you better say it. Love, thank you for capturing this, love. Procrastination is assassination to your destination. That is absolutely right. Yes, I love it. You're going to see a bunch of posts about that. This is where, look. And hey, Jennifer, thank you for tuning in. Ataya says, I've learned more from failure than I did from success. That is so true.
That is strong.
That's you know what, it's so, because when you think about when you hit your successful moments, a lot of times you don't stop and think about that, reflect, or sometimes you don't even take the time to celebrate. But a failure, you'll sit there and think about that for days and how I could do it better. And yes, so that's a really good point. Let me see. Love says, I'm exhausted. Love, you're not exhausted. Love Luana, I'm overwhelmed. No, you're not. We got you.
Right.
And we might have to have a special session where we'll hop on together and kind of learn what's going on, so that we can help get you from that state of feeling exhausted and feeling overwhelmed. And it's funny that you all say that, because sometimes when working with nonprofit leaders, I have to say it's hard. Like, let's say they'll come into Nonprofit Enthusiasts, want to working with our team, let's say for fundraising, but then we find that they're doing everything for their organization, and it's hard to kind of get them to the place of successful fundraising when they're doing everything. So we have to spend some time unpacking, like, okay, I know you're running that program, but I'm sorry, we're gonna have to find someone to kind of help facilitate that program, or we're gonna have to develop a process to get it out of your head, put it on paper, so someone else can come in and help keep that going, so we can get you through that state of fundraising. And that happens so often with nonprofit leaders, especially nonprofit founders. We try to do everything. It's our baby, but we got to let go of some of that stuff. So we will definitely, let's see, Ataya says, Jennifer, you done? No. Okay, so don't worry, Jennifer, love, Luana, y'all gonna receive a special message,
right?
And we're gonna have a special session so that we could talk through some of that. So we'll follow up with you all on that. Taya, having a support system is important in this space. That is so true. And that's why we have this group, this space, so that we can talk about, like, look, this is what we're facing. Let's support each other. Love, that's my main problem. Okay, one man show. Yes, love, we can talk about that. And that's actually something that a lot of founders or nonprofit leaders face, is doing a little bit of everything. So that, don't worry, we have a special session for y'all, and Keshawn will bring you in there as well. We'll all kind of come together and we'll talk through what those challenges are, because a lot of time it's trying to do everything. So then we'll talk through some strategy, which if you've attended one of our people, processes, and technology trainings, you'll kind of what some of those strategies are, but we can dive deeper. There's some other things that you can do to help move those things off of you so that you can really fill that role as executive director and focus in the areas that you need to. So thank y'all for sharing that. And I'm glad, and it's always great when we can hear from everyone in the group. All right. So let's talk about year-end planning, Keshawn. And I know you, your organization is a newer organization. So feel free to let us know if there's anything that you've learned along the way, or even if it's like I'm still figuring this out, what does year-end planning look like? So first and foremost, when does your year end for your organization? Do you follow the calendar year where it's January to December? Okay, all right. So you follow January to December 31st. Okay, so then what are some things that you do around this time of the year? And why I say it now, because sometimes when an organization follows a January to December, unfortunately, some organizations wait until that October, November, December, that fourth quarter to start planning for the year end. And yeah, you got to start planning like now. And that's why we had this topic laid right here in this month, is so that we can start thinking ahead. So what are some year-end planning activities for Key Survive?
For me, I know the biggest thing is, like, I agree with what you said 100%. You can't wait till last minute, because like I learned, this is another quote that I heard: if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
That's one of my favorite ones. Yes.
It, like, literally, that's the biggest one for me. And literally having, those goals and having that plan, because if there's nothing set in place, then you're definitely for sure going to fail at whatever you're trying to get yourself to. So I think that was my biggest thing for our organization, especially with me, because I have like so much ideas that run through my mind. I'm like, okay, we could do this, we could do this, we could do this, but let's create a plan. Let's create like a step by step to help us get to that level. So I think that was my biggest thing, was really pretty much having that plan, and definitely planning ahead. Like if you plan, if your fiscal year ends at like in December, and then you're planning in October, think about it, the holidays, all that's happening. And also it's the end of the year. It's not really worth it. You want to make sure, and I agree 100%, you want to make sure you're ahead of the game. And I love it, because if you're the one that's ahead, you're the one that's, most likely going to get it. You're most likely going to get what you want out of life. So that's how I really truthfully see it. It's really pretty much having that plan set in state.
Yes. So definitely, and that would, we always like to have in these sessions homework. So that would be one of the homeworks there, is kind of taking a look at what are some things that I need to plan. Honestly, you should be planning every aspect of your organization. Well, not just you, because you don't do it alone, but you and your team, everyone should be looking at every aspect. Your board, what does next year look like for us? Your marketing team, what does marketing look like for us? How can we grow our email list, our social media, get our messages out, capture, let our donors know what we're doing, storytelling, which next month actually is our marketing and PR month. So stay tuned, starting in June, we'll be talking a lot about that. Looking at your program team, what can we do better? What did we do good this year, and what can we build upon based off of what we did? How could we have improved that over time? So you really want to look at each aspect of your organization and have your team start thinking in that frame of, we need to look at what does the year end look like for us, and start planning towards that. And if you missed any of our other sessions, please go ahead and check out for the whole month of May. We've been talking about year-end planning. Definitely check those past conversations out. We have one focused on fundraising. Definitely check that out. And yeah, let me go back over to the chat, because I see, let's see. Jennifer said, help. All right, Jennifer, we coming. Y'all that just said, like, I'm done, I'm overwhelmed, don't give up. We coming for you. Don't worry, we're gonna send you a message, and we'll coordinate something so that we can work together, okay? On helping you all get past that. Okay, so Luana says, I'm not trying to do everything. Awesome. I'm ready to pass the torch of help. They don't want it. Okay, got it. Okay, got it. So we'll talk about that. All right. Hey, Abigail, how are you? Giving up is not that's right, Abigail. Okay, Abigail, you know I'm gonna tag you when we create that group for us to kind of get together. That's awesome. Yeah, Abigail said giving up is not an option. That is right. Giving up is
Yes.
not an option.
Right.
That is absolutely right. Awesome. So this was a really awesome session. I think we were able to find others that need help, and that's what we're here to do, is just support one another in this journey. So let's talk about Keisha. How can we stay in touch with you?
So you can definitely stay in touch at our new website that we have launched. It's www.keysurvive.org. You could definitely get more details about our organization and what we provide. Currently right now, we also have a Instagram page as well, which is at Key Survive. You can find us on IG, and then you can also find us on Facebook at Key Survive as well on our Facebook page. So that's exactly how you can definitely stay in touch with us and our organization.
Awesome. And we also dropped that in the chat box. So I'm gonna ask you all to if you don't mind, one of the biggest things as nonprofits that can be done to support one another is sharing the word, sharing, and then liking and sharing. So I'm gonna ask you all to take a moment in the chat box. You're gonna see Key Survive's Instagram, Facebook page. If y'all could just click on those pages, the Facebook, go ahead and like that. Instagram, go ahead and follow that. Cause we know how much that support means in a nonprofit organization, in nonprofits. So please take a moment and support, and go ahead, when you're done, give us a done in the chat box so that we know that you got that done. Awesome. So Keshawn, I truly appreciate you coming on today. Anything else you would like to say to those tuning in before we go into homework?
I would definitely say to never give up, because the only time anything doesn't work is when you quit. And there's going to be challenges where it seems like things are not working, but that's the exact time where you actually want to keep pushing forward and keep having that faith. And then remember that faith without action is not really faith. You have to put in that action. You have to have that vision and surround yourself with like-minded people who are pouring to you each and every day. And this is the reason why I'm so wary of what I look at and what I see, because I understand that everything starts up in here in the mind. Our minds are so powerful. We attract so much things. We create our life. We are full creators. We can literally live the life that we want and we deserve, but we just must keep pushing through. I'm truthfully excited for where everything's about to head to, not only for this organization, but for this group, but for everybody as well. There's many blessings to everybody, and just to keep thriving and keep pushing and getting ourselves to the next level. So yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Keshawn.
Yeah.
So for homework. So we heard it. We heard Keshawn talk about procrastination. So one of your homework assignment is, what is that thing you've been procrastinating on? Go ahead, pick that up and get it done. So hopefully by the next live, you all will have already, success in that area that you've been procrastinating on. And I would tell you all something, and just, I don't know, I know for everyone it's a little different, but sometimes when I'm procrastinating on something, it's really easy to solve, because I realize that someone else has a better, more of a strength in that area that I've been procrastinating in than I do. And sometimes it's just a matter of me reaching out and saying, hey, can you help me with this? And then that moves it along a lot quicker. So if you are facing one of those things that you're kind of like, I haven't put it on the back burner, sometimes just because it doesn't come as quick. And that's okay. Just go ahead and think about, well, who can help me get this done? And then a lot of times it happens a lot quicker than it would from me keep putting it on the back burner. So also, so we set a goal last Nonprofit Enthusiast Live last Thursday to hit the goal of 500 in the group. And as of this morning, we hit that goal. Where's I'm trying to look for my emoji so I could do there we go.
Big time. Spoke that into existence. Exactly what happened.
Yes. which is absolutely amazing. It's just like within our organizations, you know, we have to set those goals and put those goals out there and hold each other accountable. So we set it out on the live. We said we want to hit 500. So what's our next goal? What y'all think our next goal should be by next week? So next Thursday, it will be our next Nonprofit Enthusiast Live. What do you all think our goal should be?
I like to think big. I like to.
What you thinking?
I said 1,000. I'm saying 1,000.
You said 1,000 by next week.
I'm saying 1,000. I like the stretch because I feel like if you think big, you can stretch further than you actually can. That's
what. Let's see if we get a second in a let's see what we get. What, love, you too?
We say 1,000. Okay, right.
So what we gonna do to get to 1,000? I'm just so with that, it's gonna be all of us. If we can all just take a moment, go ahead and invite friends. If we invite at least, I'll say, well, we got 500 in the group. So it honestly, if each person invites 5, even though I know that'll take us over, but you know, for some that might not be available to invite people. So if each person invites at least 5, if you could do more, go ahead and do more. But we're setting a group goal of 1,000 by next week, Thursday.
Yep, we'll speak that.
Yes, let's do it. My mind is strategizing. Well, how are we gonna get? Yes, right. Love says 30. Yes, on your side. Awesome. Okay, there we go. Let's do this. All right, if we can each get that, our goal is 1,000. Let's make it happen. Awesome. I'm excited. You know, game on. Let's go.
That's right. I love a challenge.
Yes, let's do it. That is awesome. And last but not least, remember next month starts our marketing and PR sessions. So if you're new to the group, the way that the group works is every month we have a theme. So with that theme, if you're a newer organization, or even if you're existing and growing organization, we encourage you to follow along with that theme. So that way the conversations will align. If you need to set a goal for next month, make that goal marketing and PR, or one of your goals, how to improve our marketing and PR space. And then that way you will be providing resources in the group to help you with that. Also, if you missed any of our other previous sessions, like we have board development as one of our sessions, program development, go into the guide sections of the group and you'll be able to check out some of those resources that we share there. Other than that, I think we are all set. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And we will see y'all next week, Thursday, with our 1,000 members.
Okay, I'm speaking that.
Yes. All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in.
All right.
Bye, everyone. Thank you, Keshawn.
You're welcome.